saying hello today on August the 4th, 2010 with John Summers, the General Manager of the Canadian Canoe Museum in Peterborough, Ontario. And you've just taken me to the main floor of your museum. What type of exhibits do we find down here? This is what happened next. When people started in the middle of the 19th century to go in the water for fun, they needed boats to do it, and they were hunting, fishing, exploring, getting away from the city and relaxing on the water. And so they turned to the type of boat that they had seen around them made by Aboriginal peoples, but they built them a little bit differently. So what you get, for instance, in a boat like the one behind me here, obviously a canoe, point down both ends, propelled by paddles, but not made of skin, not made of birch bark, not hollowed out from a log. What this is European boat building technology. So basically Viking boat building technology.
Viking, okay.
Adapted to a canoe form.
Right.
So no birch bark inside. It's made of 3 or 4, in this case, very wide planks of basswood, held together by ribs with battens inside that make the seams waterproof. The whole thing is very, very light, but requires a fair bit of skill to build. So these are among the earliest styles of recreational canoe, and these were made by professional boat builders in factories and sold to people to use for fun. So it wasn't the case of one person just making themselves a canoe for hunting. These were made and sold as a business proposition.
Really?
And Peterborough,
and primarily for recreation.
Primarily, although they were also used for, you know, trapping, mining, exploration, and surveying, and so on. Peterborough, where we are now, became really the heart of the industrial canoe building business in Canada. At one point there were 11 or 12 companies in the Kawartha's area that were all turning these canoes out. They were being shipped from here all the way across the world.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, you have a historic display here that I think shows some of these historical companies that used to produce canoes.
From Lakefield to the northwest through Peterborough now, and down south to Rice Lake and Gore's Landing is the axis of canoe building here. It's quite a bit actually like car companies. These canoe companies were intensely competitive. They were forever stealing each other's ideas. They were stealing each other's staff. One of them would go bankrupt. The other one would buy up their building forms and start building them. They would merge. They would split apart. The factories would burn down. They'd get rebuilt, and the whole thing very, very competitive.
Very competitive,
They would advertise new models each year with catalogs. New for this year. New for 1907. Our new feature. Our new model.
So this industry was going pretty much from what, the 1880s, 1890s?
By the 1880s it was in full swing.
In full swing? Okay, so earlier even then.
And the last of the big canoe companies here, which is the Peterborough Canoe Company right behind us, finally ended up closing in the 1970s.
Oh, okay.
And by that point, in recreational boat building as a whole, wood was very much out of fashion. It's all about aluminum, steel, fiberglass, various kinds of plastic, all the miracle materials after the Second World War. And so a lot of these older boats were being used to plant geraniums in, or left in the boathouse, or left by the side of the road. Now, of course, they're back.
Exactly. So they are being made again, made of wood?
Not on the kind of scale.
Not on the industrial scale.
Factory like this, because there are now more choices than there were before of what kind of boat you use. But yeah, there are people who, I mean, the canoe I paddle myself is 73 years old, and it's just fine. It's perfectly well. It's just our regular canoe.
Oh, wonderful. And Rice Lake companies as well, so the whole area.
South of us here.
Exactly. So, what other area can we visit here on the main floor of the museum?
Well, let's take a trip over here.
Okay.
To a gallery about surveying and exploration.
Perfect.